Hello guys, it is Saturday, September 20th. It is 12:11 p.m. I have therapy in about 45 minutes-ish, and I just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about this week and a little bit about my week to come because, oh my god, I'm so stressed out. So this past week, let me look at my planner. I know I said I was going to do a journal for this, but I never started it. I was supposed to clean on Sunday, but on Sunday the 14th, but I was so stressed out because I was still interacting with my mother that I didn't do any of the cleaning. I did none of it. I didn't do anything. There's a lot that I was supposed to do that day, and I didn't do anything except for do my morning meeting, but that's because I have to, Like, I have to do that meeting. The only exceptions I make for my meetings is when I'm, like, physically ill and can't. And then I didn't edit or post a vlog, and I was supposed to. I did that later in the week. I recorded it, but I didn't edit it. And I think I edited this video that you guys have already seen. It's tomorrow's video, the video coming out on the 21st. That was the video I was supposed to edit and then post so that I could have that done. But now, I did that later in the week. Monday, September 15th. I didn't call those people. I don't know why I crossed those off like I did. I had to call my insurance company about my continuous glucose monitor. They are still fighting with me about this continuous glucose monitor, and they are not letting up. They're not getting off my neck about it, and I'm not getting off of theirs. So I called them so that I could try and file an appeal for my continuous glucose monitor because of course they denied me, and so I filed an appeal. Tell me why, like 45 minutes after I submit that appeal, they come back telling me, oh yeah, your second appeal has been denied. And I remember telling the woman, I don't think they reviewed this properly, because what do you mean it took them 45 minutes to not only receive my appeal, but to completely go over it and decide and go over all of the things that I talked about? It took me 45 minutes to get through that phone call to explain why I need this glucose monitor and what is going on with me and my diagnoses and all of this stuff. So I was just like, I don't think y'all reviewed that right. I want this brought higher. And so it was sent to a third party. Well, was that one? Yeah, it was sent to a third party company that does appeals, that kind of looks over my insurance. And I was supposed to hear from them on Friday about whether or not they approved or denied it, but I didn't. I don't know what's going on with that, but my glucose monitor ends in 3 days, and this has been so helpful, and I don't even know how to get a hold of one of, like, the monitor, the arm sensors. I don't even know how to get a hold of these, like, to pay for them, like, I don't even know how to get a hold of these things to pay money for them. So I don't really know what I'm going to do about that. I don't really understand I might call my mail order one and see if maybe they can, like, point me in the right direction, or, like, set me up an order where I have to pay for the monitor instead of insurance covering it. So anyway, that was pretty much all of Tuesday. No, that was all of Monday, sorry. That was all of Monday. I was also supposed to clean, but I didn't. I didn't do anything on Monday either. And I was supposed to have a health coaching appointment at 3 p.m., but my health coach was sick, so I didn't get to see her. Tuesday, I was supposed to do stuff, and I didn't do anything once again. I did nothing on Tuesday. The only thing I did on Tuesday, the 16th, I was feeling sick, I was feeling sad, and I had finally cut my mother off again. I stopped talking to her, I blocked her. It was this big blowout, and it wasn't supposed to be. I wanted it to be something a little bit more cordial so that it wouldn't reinforce this idea in her head that I'm crazy and manic and whatever she likes to consider me as. Basically, in short, I've been working towards reporting my dad for child sex abuse. He abused me for the majority of my childhood. He went on to give or take a couple years, like 20 years give or take, because they were broken up between 1998 or in 1998 for about 9 months, and then they were broken up again in 2001 until 2003. So there were moments, where that he wasn't around. But I do also have reason to believe that I was being abused by other partners of my mother's during those times where they were apart. And I'm just in the process of reporting that. And I talked about this in my art video that comes out before this a lot more in depth about why I'm reporting now and what my goals are with reporting. So I do kind of encourage you guys to go and watch that video. It is my most recent upload prior to this one. It should be coming out on Wednesday, the 24th, I believe, of September. So by the time you see this, it's going to be out. But I had to get into contact with my mom again because I needed those dates when they were broken up, because I knew that if I brought this to court and I said my dad started abusing me this specific year, and my parents happened to be broken up that year, because I didn't remember what years it was before I asked. So I was like, if I go to court unsure about a date and I just pick one, like the cops are telling me to, because the cops were just saying, oh, we'll just pick something around that time, even with knowing me telling them, from me telling them, like, I don't know, because my parents were broken up at some point. So, I'm trying to think about the future of this case. So I needed dates, and I couldn't have somebody else ask, because if I had somebody else ask, my mom would be paranoid, and then she wouldn't answer, and then she would be angry by the time I get back to her, or, I would have had to reach out to her anyway, regardless, and I didn't want to, but I was like, I don't think I have a choice. She's not going to answer this question for anybody else. She's not going to respond to anybody else's calls or texts, so I need to reach out to her, and so I did. I messaged her, I think we only talked for 4 days or 5 days, and we stopped talking on Tuesday, so I think we started talking Thursday of last week, and that's around the time I stopped being able to do my chores, and that's why I didn't clean on Sunday or Monday or Tuesday at all, even though I was supposed to. So her and I talked for about 5 days, and this was our last interaction with one another. I told her, and I know this is stupid, but I had told her that I was reporting my dad. I told her that I was going through with reporting him again, and she was against it, but she wasn't discouraging me. You know what I mean? Like, she wasn't, like, she didn't freak out when I told her. She just was like, I think it's unnecessary, but, like, I can't stop you. And so it was very different compared to how she reacted last time I reported my dad. And last time I told her I was going to report him again. So with that context, I had mentioned, Lord, this police department is so frustrating, LOL. And she said, well, maybe it's a sign to focus on something else. With the last several days of her defending my dad in other ways and trying to suggest that he isn't a pedophile, and that he isn't, that he doesn't deserve to be reported, and he doesn't deserve his life to be ruined, and he doesn't deserve these things. Because, she also, and then, like, her telling me that she doesn't believe me with some of the stuff that I say, and that she doesn't, but even with the stuff she does believe, which is she believes that he molested me, she does not believe that he raped me. So her saying that just kind of pushed me over the edge, because it was just like the straw that broke the camel's back. And I said, no, LOL, in your pedophile defending dreams. I don't know why you insist on defending a pedophile you don't even like. It boggles my mind how little you even tolerate him, and yet you go to bat for him harder than you ever did for me. This person has been more concerned for my well-being and safety than you have, and I've met her like twice. She's been more of a mother to me than you ever have. I know you like to quit things that are sort of hard, or when you get a little bit of pushback, kind of like this conversation. You aren't responding because you're getting pushback, and I don't have that trait from you, thank God. I used to, but I grew out of it. But I'm not quitting something just because it's giving me trouble. I'm serious about reporting him, and I'm serious about taking him to court if the statute of limitations allows it. And I mentioned that because she was leaving me on red. Like, I specifically said, like, you aren't responding to this conversation because you're getting a little bit of pushback. And that was because she was leaving me unread with all of the previous messages. She was just sitting there staring at her phone, and her phone was open while I was messaging her. And she said, I just don't know what to say because I don't want to argue or anything. And I said, it's crazy to me that you don't know what to say when you've been told he's a pedophile since I was like 11. And then I told you myself when I was 16 and I got grounded for telling you. And then I haven't shut the fuck up about this since 2018. It's crazy how you've had 20 years to figure out what to say or how you feel about your husband being a pedophile, and yet your silence speaks volumes. Your support and your silence speaks a lot louder than you think it does. Life isn't a fucking game, Mom. I'm not an NPC who's beneath you. You are so deluded and so far gone, it would be sad if you weren't vehemently defending a pedophile. This is why I can't interact with you. You never change. You're a hypocrite. You're the same person you were 5 years ago, 8 years ago, and 10 years ago. And then she says, OMG, okay. And I mentioned the NPC thing because she had this rant, this conspiracy theory rant about how everybody's an NPC except for her. Everybody's an NPC except herself and the people in her immediate life, meaning my dad. So the two of them aren't NPCs, but everybody else is beneath them, and everybody else doesn't, like, nobody else is on the same frequency as she is. She has this weird blend of the alt-right Christian fundamentalist conspiracy theories, like, intertwined with the alt-right witchcraft conspiracy theories, like the starseed stuff. She says, OMG, okay, and I said, I've told you 100 times over and over what you do that pushes me away, and you always do it again. Do you really think I'll just stop caring one day and accept how you treat me? And she says, so this is your second personality. Glad she showed up. And I said, no, this isn't my second personality, and I won't accept you trying to diminish my feelings because you can't accept that you're a shitty mom. This is who I am. I don't accept bullshit. Unlike you, I don't accept mistreatment. And she says, what bullshit did I provide today? And I said, oh, and then I was continuing, like, I don't accept belittling or manipulation. And I said, girl, you've been providing bullshit since you and I started talking. All of your sly comments about, quote, maybe it's your time to focus on other things because you don't want me to report a pedophile who spent my childhood raping me. It's what pushed me over the edge. And she said, if you thought I was being rude or something to you, you never mentioned it. And then she replies to me mentioning what she just said. It was just a joke. And I said, I've mentioned it several times. And then I replied to that second part, no, it wasn't a joke, and you know damn well it wasn't. Don't lie and try to backtrack on me because I'm calling you out. What's the punchline? And she says, it was ... I'm on the phone with this person. So I didn't put the LOL. And I said, me giving up on reporting my dad? Ha ha ha, so funny. Letting a pedophile run free? It wasn't, and I think you forget I'm not as easy to manipulate as I once was. Your old tricks don't work on me anymore. And I know that you're a liar. I've caught you in lies. I've caught you creating stories about me to suit your narrative, that I'm lying about dad and just crazy. I'm done with interacting with somebody who feels that way about me. You don't care about me or my safety. You never have. And that's not on me. There's nothing wrong with me. It's you. You're the problem. And she says, holy shit, dude. And I said, if you weren't avoidant and you actually listened when I spoke to you and brought things to you, it wouldn't have come to a boiling point. If you actually listened to your daughter about your rapist husband, you wouldn't even be in this situation, or we wouldn't even be in this situation. But I think you like pedophiles. I think you're pretty cool with them since you live with one willingly. My story hasn't changed. Yours has, and regularly does. And considering the shit you've done to me, I wouldn't be shocked if you were a pedophile too. Especially considering how often how much time you spend with girls half your age. Birds of a feather. I don't know why I even bother talking to you. I don't know why I ever explain things to you or try to tell you how I'm feeling because you don't care. You're even proving it in these messages with your, quote, holy shit, dudes, instead of actually responding to anything I'm saying. You're a coward. You're a pedophile enabler. You've had several chances to get me away from him, and you knew he was abusing me, and you left me with him. You essentially handed me over to him. I'm done. This shit ends tonight. I know I've said it a bunch of times in the past, but I'm tired. Talking to you makes me feel miserable. You are such a fucking leech. You want nothing more than for me to be the obedient, quiet daughter I once was, but she's dead. You will never have her again, and I hope you enjoy continuing to pretend I don't exist in that house. And I said that part specifically because when I had asked her if my dad had ever admitted to anything that he had done to me, because she just suddenly started believing that he molested me one day. So I wondered, did he ever say anything to her? And so I asked her, I said, did he ever say anything to you? Did he ever admit anything to you? And she says, we don't talk about you. We never talk about you. So she says, I don't agree with any of that, and I wish you would give this a real chance, which takes time. And I said, you've had 20 years. She says, OMG. And I said, fuck off, I'm done. And then she says, okay. And I said, you don't believe me, and that's on you. I hope you know I did try. I tried to give you chances time and time and time again, but your dismissal of me being raped by Ken is inexcusable, unforgivable. I'm not a fucking game character. I'm a real life person whose life matters just as much as yours. And I hope that one day when you come out of your delusions, you'll realize just how fucking wrong you were. And I hope the thought of losing me plagues you every moment of your life from then on, just like his rape of me plagues mine. I'd say see you in court, but I doubt you'll even show up if it even gets that far. Enjoy your rapist pedophile husband. I hope you love the choices you've made. I know I've said it a bunch, but I'm not kidding when I say I'm never speaking to you again unless I have to. You're dead to me. And then I blocked her. She turned off her read receipts by that point, so I don't know if she ever read that last message. So that is how that conversation ended. And I was very sick after this phone call. I was very sick to my stomach. I had stomach cramping. I was stressed out. I was shaking. And so I ended up taking another THC, and then I sat down and decided that I didn't want to ruin a potential future good feeling day to type out this timeline for the police. So I did that. I stayed up all night on Tuesday. Yeah, on Tuesday night, technically Wednesday day, I stayed up all night and wrote out my timeline. Or sorry, that was Wednesday. That was Wednesday. So that was Wednesday night. Jesus, why did I say that was Tuesday? This was Wednesday. So I wrote out my timeline, my abuse timeline. And it is about 3,800 words. Maybe one of these days I will read this timeline, you guys. But for the moment, just for the time being, because I don't know if this will go to court, I don't know how much I'm allowed to talk about it. I already kind of talked about it a lot in my art video that's coming out. But in terms of details, like the stuff that I'm accusing him of, if we're going to use legal words, I imagine I'm allowed to talk about that things are happening, like I'm doing the legal stuff, but I don't think I'm allowed to talk about like the case itself, if that makes sense. Like I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about the details, but maybe I'll read that to you guys one of these days, because I am wanting to be a little bit more open and vulnerable on this channel, especially during these times when I'm just doing sit-down videos. But so that was Wednesday. That was Wednesday, September 17th. And by that point, I still hadn't done anything. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I didn't do anything. Like I was just so tired. Thursday, September 18th, I once again didn't do anything. I had a telehealth appointment, and I think that's all I did on Thursday. Friday comes. Friday was yesterday. And I was finally able to do some stuff. Oh, I think Thursday, no, it wasn't. No, it was Friday. So on Friday, no, Thursday. Sorry, I am right. On Thursday, sorry, I'm going back a little bit. Thursday the 18th, as well as that appointment, I got confirmation that I'm having detectives come on Monday. And we are going to, I'm getting like a formal interview about what I'm reporting my dad for. So after I talk with the detectives on Monday, I should know within a few days, I think, or maybe a week, whether or not we can push forward and continue with some kind of case, or if this is going to become an investigation versus just me re-reporting. I don't know. But detectives are coming in on Monday, on the 22nd I'm very nervous about that, but you guys will see more about that. I don't know. No, because this video is going out on, you guys aren't going to see this until the 28th. So by the time you guys see this, I will have already met with the detectives, and I will likely have an answer about what's going on by the time you guys see this. So my videos are about a week behind for reference. But anyway, so I got that news on the 18th, and I was sick all day because I was so anxious. I was, oh my God, I was so nervous. Lord have mercy. And then Friday, I finally started to feel better. The 19th, this was yesterday. I was finally feeling better. I was finally like, I'm still anxious, but I just, like, there was just this, like, weight lifted off of me after my mom and I stopped talking and after, like, this stress of Thursday. So, I was able to get a lot of cleaning done yesterday. Do you guys want to know what I did? Well, no. Because this was written on Thursday. Oh, no, I didn't fucking do anything, though, on Thursday. Okay, never mind. So, yesterday, I did my laundry. I finished all of my laundry. All of my laundry's clean. Everything in this apartment, I don't have any more laundry currently, except for the stuff that I've dirtied between yesterday and today. I collected all of my trash and, like, put it in a bag. I finally reorganized my bookshelf. I reorganized my entertainment center, and I, like, actually put the stuff inside of it. I put groceries away that I bought a few days ago. I didn't put my laundry away. And then I also brought all of my art stuff that I was keeping outside inside, and you can't see it, but there's an entryway table, like, right here. I put all of it in my entryway table, and then I reorganized my closet. I took all of my, like, hardware stuff because I had, like, a little shelf in there that was taking up a lot of space. So I took that shelf apart and I, like, put it in different parts of the apartment. But then I also put my electrical stuff in there, not my electrical, but, like, my hardware stuff in there in the entryway table. So now, like, this entryway table is being used properly, and now my closet's fully organized. Like, everything fits in there really nicely now that shelf is out of there. And then I have that shelf in different parts of the apartment so that, you know, it's all in there, you know, like, it's still being used. And I got so much done yesterday, and it was really nice being able to clean so much. And then today, because I did a lot of the big stuff yesterday, all I have to do today is I had to edit my art video, which basically was just doing a voiceover and then adding captions, and I already have it uploaded and ready to premiere on YouTube for this coming Wednesday. And then I have to change my sheets, I have to Lysol my blankets, and then I just have to clean my shower out, which is just going to consist of, like, me spraying it down with like my shower foam spray, using maybe a little brush to get the corners, cleaning my sinks, which is just going to be like a Lysol wipe, and then cleaning my toilet, which isn't, like, my toilet's not that bad, it just needs, like, an upkeep clean. And then I need to record this vlog and fill out my planner for next week, but, like, and then sign up for my exercise classes for next week. Like, that's not a lot of stuff to do. Like, I could probably finish that stuff within an hour or so if I sat down and tried, or maybe 2. And I kind of plan to try and do that, at least, like, with the cleaning parts, because the cleaning parts are the ones that take, you know, this is what I'm referencing when I say it doesn't even take that long. Because my plan is to do therapy, which is now, currently at the time of recording this, in 20 minutes instead of 40 when I started recording, 45. I plan to finish this video, put it into CapCut so that I can start editing it later. I'm not going to edit it tonight. And then after that, I'm probably going to get a snack and then start therapy, do my therapy. And then after therapy, I'm going to make lunch. And then after lunch, I'm going to let that settle and just probably watch a video or 2, and then I'm going to clean. Oh, and then I need to put laundry away. Sorry, that's the other thing. I didn't even see that. But yeah, like, that's not a lot of stuff either way. Like, just putting my laundry away is just folding it and putting it where it belongs, you know? Like, it's not that fucking hard. So, I plan to get that stuff done and then spend the rest of my day either editing this vlog, yeah, if I have time, I'll edit this vlog. And then I will fill out my planner and then just do stuff that I want to do today. And I mean, shit, maybe I'll even start some of the other stuff for tomorrow so that I don't have as much to do tomorrow. Because, like, some of these things, like vacuuming my couch, I can probably do that today. I don't want to vacuum and mop today because I do know that there is like a very large possibility that I could just fuck up my floors between now and then, between today and Monday. But like I could probably vacuum my couch today, you know, too, because I wanted to like take it apart and vacuum all of it. Which actually no, I don't want to do all that. Why would I do all that? They're not gonna look under my couch cushions. Jesus. But anyway, so like so that tomorrow all I have to do is like vacuum, mop, wipe surfaces down, and then clean my kitchen in the evening at night. And take out my trash and shower, you know? Those are just like the last minute things that are like gonna make everything be good in here. And I mean, I might even take my trash out on Monday before they get here. Like when I know that they're on their way, take out my trash so that like there's no trash in the apartment when they get here. That's been my week, and those are my plans for today. I'm gonna end this vlog here. That is my week. That is what happened over this past week, and that is what I will be doing today. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know that these sit-down vlogs aren't ideal, but once again, until I get the equipment to record on something that is not my phone or laptop, that is when I will go back to vlogging like normal, where I'm like showing you guys what I'm doing, and like that's when I'll do a house tour and all that stuff. So until then, until I can get camera equipment to do these things, until that point, I will be doing vlogs like this. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. I hope you guys understand that things are a little bit crazy in terms of vlogging, and I hope maybe you got some stuff done while you were listening to this. Don't forget to leave a like or a comment. That would be really cool. Yeah, thank you guys so much again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.